Twisted Big D here. Let's talk about that winter driving. Alright, it's winter time, so everybody be safe out there. What I wanted to talk to you about today is a little bit of the equipment and just a lot about winter. Alright, for some of the stuff that you're going to need to carry is going to be some cat litter, because if you're on an icy surface and you need to get some traction and it's slick, you just pour some of that kitty litter down. It'll get you some traction to get out of a spot. You're also going to want to carry some anti-gel. Anti-gel's for the fuel. It keeps the fuel from gelling. That's why it's called anti-gel. Who would have ever thought that? So if it gets down below 30 degrees, that's the temperature I usually put it in at, especially if it's going to be less than 32 for a long period of time. You're going to have to put that anti-gel in so your fuel don't gel up. If your fuel gels up, your truck can't start. Whenever your truck can't start because it's gelled up, it clogs up that fuel filter first. Once you got it gelled up in that fuel filter and in those lines, you're going to have to pay an expensive shop fee, all because you didn't put in the anti-gel. Not to mention that you're going to be stopped. You might be able to put in some diesel 911 or pour it on the fuel filter to get some of that gel off. More than likely you're going to get stuck in a shop. The shop's going to be they're going to have to raise the temperature and get the gel to turn back into a liquid, or that's how I understand it works, is that they heat up the fuel, put your truck in the shop and heat it up until it gets enough temperature for the gel to become liquid again. And it just sounds expensive, sounds like a lot of wasted time. We don't want to do that. Also, during wintertime, you're going to need chains for your truck. I'm not a person that chains up. If I get into a situation to go to somewhere where I need to park that's safe, then I'm going to put those chains on and drive to the safe spot to pull over and just call it a day from there. If the snow's so deep out there that you have to put chains on just to make it anywhere, I'm not going to drive. Now, a lot of people think the chains are for the ice. The chains are not for the ice. The chains are for the deep, compacted snow, the real deep snow. You know, I've been shut down before because of the snow was deep and I had a chain up, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to pull over right here until they get those roads cleaned off and safe enough for me to drive on them. So that's what I kind of do. The other day I was empty. Yesterday I was empty in PA, and I got shut down because on the 476, I believe, on the way to Pittston from exit 95 to 160 something, it was no empty trucks and no doubles. So I had to pull over in a rest stop. It was about 10 in the morning. I waited till 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock, I checked it again. They got the roads cleaned up. I drove right into here. So pay attention to the signs out there. Sometimes they have the billboards that tell you the road's closed. Sometimes if you check the weather app, also when you're trip planning, you want to adjust for the weather. You want to add extra time to your load because of the weather. So you want to leave earlier, get up earlier, add extra time. I've done it. I've done it on that last video that y'all watched yesterday. So just remember, you want to add some extra time to your trip. Also, stay informed on the weather. You want to look at the weather and check your apps to see what the weather's doing, see where it's going to be bad, see what's going on. Keep on top of the weather, because my experience is if I can keep up with the weather, I might have to jump down to the 80. One time I was going across the 80 and I checked the weather and I was all like, oh, 80 is going to be bad. I need to jump on the 90. I jumped up on the 90. It was good. Got so far down the road, pulled over, took a 10-hour break. I checked it the next day. I was like, oh, the 90 is going to get tore up. I need to hit the 80. I jumped back down to the 80, went across dry roads. So, you know, just little stuff like that will help you out a lot. If you're paying attention to that weather, then you're going to do a lot better. I try to stay away from the mountains if I can during the wintertime, because it's a lot colder up there than it is down here. So make sure your truck has snow chains. Make sure you have the kitty litter for traction. Make sure you have the diesel 911 for emergencies. Make sure you have the anti-gel on your truck. Also, you want to get some jumper cables. It's a great idea because batteries do funky stuff in the winter. And a lot of times your batteries on your reefer, you might go do a drop and hook, pick up your empty trailer. Guess what? The battery's dead. You can take, I got 2 jump ports behind my truck that I can run my jumper cables to, and to my reefer, and jump it off like that. I've done it before. It works. Also, I've had to jump off my truck with the reefer because it wouldn't start before. So jumper cables is always a thing to have. Also, you want a hammer. That's my favorite tool. If something's broken, I'm going to beat it with a hammer. I'm going to beat it into submission. So whenever the brakes freeze up, most of the time it's going to be your trailer brake. Your torque, believe it or not, your truck should have enough torque, believe it or not, to break that ice off. It's going to be loud. It's going to make a loud pop. You break that ice off of your truck, but your trailer tires, you look over there, you want to check those trailer tires and your truck tires to make sure that they're rotating, moving. If they're not moving, guess what? That one's frozen. You got to get a hammer and beat that brake drum to loosen up that ice so it'll roll. And you can do it several different ways. Whenever I check my truck, I usually aim my mirrors down at them and make sure that they're turning. If I can't tell if they're turning, then I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna mark a spot on the tire. So I put a big piece of ice on top of all my tires one time. Pull forward, ice was still there, then guess what? That tire ain't moving. You know, stuff like that. The trailer's another story. The trailer's way back there. If I want to check the left side of my trailer, see if the tires are rotating, then I'm going to turn the wheel, pull forward, I'm going to turn the wheel a little bit to the left. I'm going to look at those trailer tires. I'm going to watch them rotate. Then I'm going to turn it a little bit to the right to check the right side. Turn it a little bit to the right, pull forward. I'm going to make sure that those tires are rotating. If they're rotating, we're good. If they're not, this guy right here is going to have to get his trusty hammer, and he's going to have to beat on those drums until that ice is out, so I can keep going, so I can keep making money, so I can keep supporting my family. Also, in the bad weather and the ice and stuff like that, don't be going too fast. Pretty much your winter training, here's your winter training right here. Here's what all your trainers going to say. They're going to say, during the winter time, you need to drive as slow as you need to. So pretty much when you're driving out there and the ice is real bad and stuff like that, slow down. Always keep your dispatcher informed if you're having trouble making your load, because he needs to know if you're going to make that load or not. He needs to get it rescheduled or whatever. It's not worth our life to risk it all because of a load. If you don't have enough time to make it there, you're going to tell your dispatcher. They're going to understand. You're going to do it safely. You know, there's always send a Qualcomm message. It's better to send a message than call them on the phone, because there's documentation that, hey, I told them it wasn't safe enough to keep on going. I know the dispatchers ain't going to like that, but yeah, you want to send that message on the Qualcomm, because every once in a while you got your dispatcher, he's going to be like, hey, you sure you can't make it? Drive a little bit more. You know yourself, and you know the truck, and you know if it's dangerous or not. You're the captain of the ship. If the captain says pull over, you're going to pull over. So remember, if you pull over, make sure you still message that dispatcher. Keep them informed. They can keep the customer informed. And when I'm out there driving, if I'm driving, we'll say 50 miles an hour, it starts snowing and starting building up, I'm going to slow it down even slower. If I feel like the truck if it doesn't feel safe to me, I'm going to slow down more. I've drove down the interstate at 25 miles an hour before. Even slower than that. Whatever felt safe is what I drove. If I felt the truck start sliding, I was off of it. I'm slowing it down even more. If it got too bad, I'm pulling over. It's not worth my life. The deadliest stuff is the wind during the ice. I won't even mess with no wind during the ice. I'm going to pull over, call it a day. you know, because I know my abilities, and I'm from Texas. I'm from West Texas, especially Lubbock, Texas. It might snow there once a year, and whenever it does snow there, we shut down the town. I don't know what I'm doing on no ice and snow. Now I do. I've been driving on it for a while now. Now I really know, but at first I was shutting down all the time. I was like, oh, nope, I'm done. There's no load too hot to cool down in a ditch, you know. So just remember, be safe out there. Oh, one thing I forgot is those winter wiper blades. You get you some winter wiper blades. Keep windshield washer fluid in the tank. You want to have that spray to get that salt off of there so you can see again. You want to have those winter blades. They have like rubber over them. I'm gonna put a picture up, and that rubber on them, it keeps the ice and snow from building on it and turning your windshield wiper to an ice block. And then you're doing something dangerous. You roll down your window and you reach out there and pop it up, trying to break the ice off while you're driving. Don't do that. Pull over, break it off. Who cares about those super truckers coming by, honking their horns, yelling at you on the CB, all that stuff? Let that stuff blow over your shoulder. Don't let them get to you, because if you're doing it safe, you're not going to be the one flipped over. That guy flooring it, running fast, if he rolls that truck, then that's on him. And usually I see those super truckers, man, they're all like, I ain't scared of this, you're scared. No, I'm being safe. Have you ever heard of anyone flipping their truck from being too safe? Nope. I've never heard of that. It's the people going too fast that roll their trucks and stuff like that. This is a serious time of the year. Take it serious. Keep informed on the weather. Do all your checks. Bleed your air tanks. You need to definitely bleed those air tanks, because you don't want them to freeze in your line. Once it freezes in your line, you're out of there. You're done. Like, you're not going nowhere if it freezes in those lines. I heard people put some rubbing alcohol in there. I don't know. I don't mess with that. I just make sure I bleed my tanks enough. Y'all be safe out there this winter. Remember, you're the captain of the ship. If the captain says he ain't driving no more, he ain't driving no more. Parking in a truck stop. Just make sure that you have a lot of the stuff I'm talking about on your truck, because I don't want to see anyone out there in trouble. One more thing is, I just remembered, is you want to have a lot of water and you want to have a lot of food. If you get stuck somewhere, there might not be nothing to eat, nothing to drink. You better make sure that you have some stuff in your truck to eat and drink. Keep hydrated. All right. Well, that's some winter tips. Y'all be safe out there. Do not do anything unsafe. I'm going to put up a video probably right now. All right, here's the bag of my kitty litter. If I get stuck in a place, I need to get some traction, like on some ice and stuff, I might pour it on the ground, and that'll give me traction. This is Diesel 911. If my reefer tank or my tanks are gelled up and I need a quick fix, hopefully this fixes it. This is some powerful anti-gel. I've had reefers before where the lines were really, really bad. The reefer's barely running when I get to it. I pour some of this in there, I'm good. Next is anti-gel. They were out of the kind I usually buy. I can't remember the name of it. It's a white brand, so I had to get this the other day. And this is some anti-gel, and you want to, it treats 320 gallons, so you want to put half in one side, one tank, half in the other tank, and then save you some for the reefer. So really you're putting like maybe, I'd say about a fourth of the bottle in the reefer, and then you're doing half for the driver's side tank, half for the passenger side tank. During winter, it's a good idea to go ahead and drain your air tank. All I'm doing is pulling this cord. See that little valve? It lets all the water and condensation that builds up in these tanks. See all that water and condensation coming out? You don't want to get that in your air lines and freeze in there. So what you want to do is completely bleed them out. to get all that condensation out. That's how you do the tank behind the cab. And then don't forget about bleeding. I bleed these out too. Pull both of them. Well, that's pretty much how you bleed out your tanks to get the condensation and the water out of your lines so they don't freeze inside your lines. It's a good idea to do that every day during winter whenever it's freezing outside. So that's a video on the stuff that I have. I know I went over some of that stuff, but it's nice to hear it again. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I'll be coming out with more videos like this. I appreciate all my subscribers. I love the comments. Y'all keep commenting. I love to talk to people. So like, if I can communicate with you through a comment, that's cool. All right, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, like this video. I think it's over there somewhere. Like that video. Be safe out there this winter. Goodbye.